what it is. Like, I'm taking you on a little ride today. Going down to the garden, just visiting my man Art. Now, my people, and without getting into a long explanation, I'm just say technically I'm kind of homeless, so but I move around a lot, and because I'm not trying to live in my grief and all of that kind of stuff. Like I'm figuring it out. You know what I mean? I'm not without friends. I'm not without resources. Um, I don't. I'm not. I'm cash poor. I'm a lot of things, but what I'm not is crippled and bitter. I am thankful, grateful, but every single blessing, and believe me, there are plenty. And so I'm heading down to the garden. I'm actually here now, like right down the street. I could have walked, but I just wanted to transport quickly. But we're out here prepping. Supposed to receive um, what you call it, a container for the garden. Um, a shipping container, 20 by 5. It's supposed to be delivered tomorrow, and we're preparing for that. And so this is what it is. And this is the garden, right? So just kind of, I always want to turn the phone sideways. I don't think I can do that. So, but this is the Imani Garden. And it kind of came from a tragedy, you know. Um, my friend's little sister, Imani, was actually killed in this spot when we were kids. I didn't know him back then, but you know that was a thing, and so she was the inspiration, and we came. I remember when we first came here, we were actually over in this area, and we walked back in the woods. I'm not going to do that today because it's a little overgrown, but and I think this right here, I'm seeing some raspberries growing wild. I don't see any raspberries yet, but I know that this is a raspberry bush, and that is thriving. There's like a lot of raspberries going to happen over there. I can't wait for that. So, and we cut down all the honeysuckle because we were told that it's an invasive, and but um, there's a lot of good stuff here. But in any case, Imani was the inspiration, and we went back there in those woods, and there's a natural preserve back there, like a swampy area, and kind of a I guess a lake, you know, and they would, so they basically said you can't be that close to it, but then they granted us this, and this stretches. This is right here. I guess, is the other gate open? The other gate is not open. So we're gonna come back to the garden. I'll walk you through the garden itself in a minute. But what we're gonna do is walk back over to like where the water is. Here's our mulch. What's left of it, we have a delivery coming. I mean, not compost and our mulch. We have a delivery coming soon. I see. I guess Hawkins back there chilling. He's got his hat on. All right. Having a Zen moment or something. Aki baby, he got the Zen moment happening. We live on YouTube. So in any case, like this garden area, it's about a half acre or so, maybe an acre. Well, not quite an acre, maybe a half acre, a little bit bigger than a half acre. Let's say 3/4. And then there's this, which stretches back about, let's see, when we get around the corner, our entire area is about, let's say, like, I estimate about 6 acres, and if you add this, which I'm getting ready to show you, um, you know, here's like a little view of the swamp, the natural preserve. You can hear there's birds, it's bustling with wildlife, deer, and all kinds of stuff, but that stretches on for quite a while. But I think our area is about, I don't know, 6 acres, give or take. We could continue back here. Um, there's another place back here overlooking the waterfall. Let me see, because it's funny because this place actually dries up, and a few weeks ago there was a dry bed. It was just nothing, no water, nothing. But now, as you can see, it's a lake, and this is the waterfall. See a little kitty cat running away. This is kind of a dam. I guess there's not quite enough water in it right now for it to do the waterfall thing, but this stretches back for quite a while, and you can see a little flag here letting us know that's kind of not our area anymore. But but it is what it is. It's a beautiful thing we're doing. Is when you have elders and children, convening in a place, and our culture is falling back into place. Like we have the village, what I mean, forming, and the elders are imparting wisdom to the young people, and the young people are laughing and playing and being young and not trying to be adults. I'm not going to head back here because there may be deer and ticks and foxes and all kinds of stuff, but and not that that's crazy, because on the other side is like a housing project. We're not that deep in the woods. But this is to the left of where I'm staying is a natural preserve that stretches on and on and on and on. But that's what it is. This is what we're doing. We took a tragedy and turned it into, I don't want to use the word triumph, but and the beautiful thing about it, I kind of left out this detail, but what we're looking at, that building on the left, is a nursing home, and that was a place where they were just tucking old people away and the sickly away to die and be forgotten about. And on the other side of that, across the parking lot, I don't know if we can see that, but oops, I've been covering the mic the whole time. Bad cameraman. But on the other side of that, through the parking lot, is a housing project. And so we had all of these young people that are not, shooting each other and getting high, and not to say that everybody's caught up in something, but when there's no opportunity, people tend to resort to madness, living on top of each other. So we stepped to the elders and created a space here. In fact, I just installed the wheelchair map, that makes it easier for them to traverse this area. And they can come in here with their walkers and their wheelchairs and, and be available and interact and take their rightful place. We need the Queen Mother back on her post, imparting wisdom and sharing culture. That's what keeps us thriving. Got wisdom. Ooh, I see a ladybug. That's a good sign when you see the ladybugs. Oh no, that's not a ladybug. But that's a good sign when you see the ladybugs in the garden. That's, you want to attract them. So look, we got like squash happening and other things. We're plenty of tomatoes and these are not chives. I thought these were chives, but they're leeks. And there's some kind of interesting dragonfly there. He flew away. But you know, got plenty. I see mint. I see plenty of tomatoes, plenty of squash. Something that kind of looks like it's bolting. I guess this is parsley. We got basil here. Look at that basil. The basil looks beautiful. Parsley, flat leaf, Italian flat leaf, and like I said, some of it's bolting. We got curly leaf pasta there. I don't know if those are, what are those? Bunching onions. Bunching onions. You know, so like tomatoes, lettuce. Somebody's growing a salad. We got basil. Look at that. Oh, hot peppers. Got hot peppers happening. Nice. And scallions, we got green onions here. Look at that, plenty of good stuff. Tomatoes, you know, I don't know what this is. Is that collards? I'm not sure, but some kind of green, leafy, maybe kale. And squash, I think. Possibly, no, that's not cucumber. But, you know, I'm learning. Like I'm learning. I'm not the greatest farmer. Lettuce looking good. Somebody got their salad happening. I guess Ak is playing some music. We got plenty of lettuce here thriving out. Greens. Look at the greens looking all good. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Plenty of green. Ooh, is that eggplant? I don't know if that's eggplant or what that is, but looking good. Looking good. All right, and I can't remember her name from yesterday. Pardon me if I'm calling you outside Erica, I believe, but I can't remember. But she harvested from this bin right here a squash and a cucumber, and they were looking good. I'm going to share that video. I did video it, so I'm going to share that. But look, and this is her first year. She's her first time gardening. And this is, you know what I mean? Look at that bin. It's beautiful. First year. Oh my goodness, we're killing it. So, and that's what it is. So again, you know, from a tragedy, you know, my friend's little sister killed 2 elders in here, and children laughing and playing and interacting and bringing the community back together and the Queen Mother back in her rightful place. You know? I may screw the quote up, but Kwame Nkrumah, Ghana, for those that know, research Kwame Nkrumah. Brilliant, great leader, beloved. So this brother made a statement, and I hope I don't screw it up, but he said something to the effect of a country's revolutionary, why am I not able to say revolutionary? A country's revolutionary awareness can be measured by the political maturity of its women. A country's revolutionary awareness can be measured by the political awareness of its women. Powerful statement. If we let that sink in, where are we? You know, are we ratchet? That's where our country is. Are we conscious and spiritually awake? That's where our country is. Are we capitalists and bloodsuckers? That's where our country is. Or are we thriving and producing life and love? That's where our country is. And are we still thinking in terms of countries, or are we thinking in terms of an entire human family? Because there's only one earth and we share it. This is Allah's bounty, the God Yahweh bounty. This is the Most High's bounty. This is Atan, Temu, Unkulumkum. Bounty. Right? The Great Spirit. Bounty. Ra. Bounty. Right? And I know these are babies, but we got burdock root and golden seal. Right? We got a few things happening over here. Milk thistle, you know, rosemary, things with healing properties. There's even plenty of clover growing all over the place. You know, we got stuff with healing properties happening. These are sunflowers that Cynthia just brought in yesterday. All right. So we're gonna have some happy flowers right here at the entrance. You know, that's how we doing it at the garden. Oh, all right, sis. I see you, Black Love. That's what it is. All right. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining us. I'm like still learning this thing. I don't know how to type properly, and I don't have my glasses on. But peace and love, peace and blessings. You know. Thanks for joining. I'm gonna kind of sign off. I guess go join Op. Maybe chop it up a little bit. I might do a second. I know, but I think I'm gonna grab the camera from the car and sit down and chop it up with the brother. This looks like cauliflower. All right. Peace and love. We're gonna see some happiness. Be blessed. Be thankful. Give thanks. Love.